It's success principle number 51. And in today's video, we're talking about how to speak with impeccability. Yes, that word that I've said that I might have not pronounced right. My name's Ruth Ellen, and you've just entered the S.H.E channel, where we shift, heal and expand, and speaking with impeccability is today's topic of discussion. It's a discussion, people. So if you're seeing this after a month or even a year or even 2 years, it doesn't matter. I still want your comments below to let me know about your thoughts on this matter. Because when we speak from a place of impeccability, we're speaking from a place of integrity, a place of a higher self, a place that speaks our vision into existence. And that's what we want for our life. We want to be known for our words, that our words are in alignment with our actions and what we produce, that what we say is what we do, that when we say we're going to do something, when we say we're going to be something, we're going to uphold as much as possible. That is speaking with impeccability. Wouldn't you want that for your life? Wouldn't you want that in the people that you surround yourself with? Wouldn't you want that for every single person that you've ever met in your whole entire life? I know I would. Phew. Somebody said to me, I'm going to be there at 5, they're there at 5. Somebody said to me, I keep my word and I'm honest, and they're honest, I'll be like, woof. It would make me go higher in my own mindset because I'll be held to a higher standard and everybody else around me would be too. And it's a practice, right, that I am adhering to, and it's a practice that I will continue to adhere to, continue to reach up to. It's a practice because we're not always going to get it right. But you know what? The whole point of this is that we've got an intention to create a vision that will completely change our lives and make an impact on everybody else around us, because we can only start with ourselves. We can't change anything out there if we can't change within first. So speaking with impeccability is all about what are you birthing, what are you creating, what are you actually building with your words? Are you building people up and your own life up, or are you tearing them down? So let's talk about that, because this success principle is calling us to a higher standard. So successful people speak with words of inclusion rather than words of separation. I love that. They speak with words of acceptance rather than words of rejection. They speak with words of tolerance rather than words of prejudice. Tolerance, inclusion, acceptance. Now, we live in a world where you might not see that all the time, but you can't count on others to be that person. You can only count on yourself to be that person. You are that inclusive person that accepts people, that tolerates them, or celebrates them rather than tolerates, in fact. But let's just tolerate as a minimum, the bare minimum. When you become that person, the person that doesn't have a racial bias about somebody, doesn't buy a course or something just because of what they look like, but instead understands and knows what's in alignment. It doesn't necessarily dismiss somebody because they think that they're different, because they understand difference is what everyone is. We have diversity across the world. Diversity is a thing. It's not something that you can opt out of. We are all diverse. We think differently. We have different cognitive functions. Some of us are neurotypical or non-neurodiverse. Some of us are neurodiverse. And understanding those differences, those nuances and the strengths of those, and even some of the weaknesses, so that we are constantly still being acceptable and inclusive and celebrate people, not just tolerating them, is where the magic happens. Because with that, you can see the big changes. With that, you could see a different world. You could look outside the window and be like, oh my gosh, 2 people from different backgrounds, different everything, are still getting along. And that's when you speak with impeccability. When you use your words to make sure that that happens in your own reality. So what else? Jack Canfield tells us to stop lying. Stop lying. That's not his accent, by the way. That's my accent. That's how I would interpret his accent if he was from parts of the UK, probably up to Scouse or something. It can be real easy for some of us to tell little lies. And sometimes it's because it's an automate thing. We want to keep our self-protected. We don't want to be so vulnerable. So perhaps when somebody says, oh, how was your weekend? You'll be like, oh, it was okay. And it might have been the worst weekend ever, but you didn't want to share that and divulge that with that person because you wanted to protect them. Even though they asked you a question. How they receive the answer you give them ain't none of your business. Stop lying. Tell the truth. What's on your mind? Now I know small talk, medium talk, deep talk, whatever you want to call it. Sometimes people seem to ask people how are they when they don't really mean to know how are you. But again, stop lying. Tell the truth. And so lying is a product of low self-esteem is what Jack Canfield says. The belief that you and your abilities are somehow not enough to get what you want. So some people lie on, like I've had people talk about what they've done in life, right? And they'll maybe coat it with a little bit of fakery. They'll tell a little bit of it, they don't necessarily tell the truth. Like they're not good enough for whatever they've got right now. Like they want to embellish the truth, which is lying. And so if that comes up in your life, if you're finding yourself embellishing the truth, lying to make yourself feel good because what you believe that you've got isn't good enough, then I want you to look at that. I don't have pictures of me going on holiday everywhere because I don't go on holiday. I've been maybe 5 countries in my whole life. Now, I could stand here and lie to you and tell you I've been to all of these amazing places. But why? Where I've been is good enough. And so you've got to think about yourself and how you are showing up and what you are lying about and who you're really trying to impress and why you're trying to impress them. Because if we're around people that we're constantly trying to impress and feeling like we can't even be ourselves, then are those the type of people that we want to be around because we can't even feel like we can be ourselves? I mean, is that judgment based on them or is it based on us and how we feel about ourselves? What you say about others matters even more. So let's talk about gossiping. It's a thing. People do it. People say, I heard, or did you know? And then they just go in deep and this person said, did you know? And sometimes it's even like covert type gossiping, like, oh yeah, that person did this, and still gossiping. I don't gossip. Gossip. So let's talk about what Jack Campbell talks about when he talks about gossip. How I like to actually frame gossip is if you wouldn't say it in front of the other person, if you wouldn't say it in front of the person you're gossiping about, then don't say it at all. If you wouldn't say that person's an idiot, if you wouldn't say that person's just really careless in front of that person, then I suggest you don't use those words at all, because whatever you're saying in front of the person who is listening to you and they're not saying anything, why is it you feel so comfortable to say those words to that person? That person obviously hasn't held you to a high standard. Like anytime somebody gossips about me and I hear back, I'll say, interesting. Why did that person feel so comfortable to gossip about me to you? Is my question. Why did that's because that just shows also that possibly the person that they were sharing that conversation with is a person that's constantly gossiping themselves, is a person that maybe said something that's quite negative about you. There are so many ways you can go with this, but the whole point is to not gossip. To be that person who's when it comes to your funeral, your eulogy, and people are talking about you, what words would they be saying? How you behaved, when it came to other people? Yeah, you might have gone on those food drives. Yeah, you might donate to charity. But did you actually talk about people? Did you chat about people? Or was you one of those people that had nothing but nice things to say about them? Nothing but praise or you just didn't say anything about them because, you know, you knew if you didn't have anything nice to say, you wasn't going to say anything at all. So let's not gossip. It's a practice, right? When you find yourself gossiping, stop. Take a breath, be aware, and think, what is it that I'm trying to do here? Okay, so here's some practical ways you can stop gossiping. And you can discourage other people to stop gossiping as well. This is obviously in the book, The Success Principles, which you are by now divulging in or reading as your bedtime story. Surely by now, surely. That was quite aggressive, wasn't it? So here are some practical ways to stop yourself and discourage others from gossiping. 1, change the subject. Completely change the subject. I'm a master changing the subject. I think people say to you, how do we go from here to there? Like, change the subject. 2, say something positive about the person. Like if somebody says something that can be quite negative, you can just say, yeah, but I love how they A, B, and C. Snap that, nip that in the bud. Whatever you say, I'm gonna snap in the bud. Number 3, walk away. That's my impression of walking away. Walk away from the conversation. You don't have to sit there and be that person that absorbs like a vacuum negative talk about other people. Keep quiet. You don't have to join in, definitely, but being complicit. I'm not sure about that one, but again, Jack Canfield's Success Principles. This is like a dinner plate. On the dinner, maybe you didn't order everything, right? But somehow you've got everything on the plate. Your job is to be discerning and pick what you want from the plate that is going to serve you and your highest self. Number 5, clearly state that you no longer want to participate in such gossiping. No, thank you. Don't want to gossip. And also, so there's 5, right? Change the subject. Say something positive about the other person. Walk away from the conversation. Be quiet. Or just say, you know what? Stop. I don't want to. We're not doing this today. Let's stop. And last but not least, which is not part of the list, it says change your thoughts and your feelings. So how do you know you've been impeccable with your words? When you feel good, happy, joyful, calm, and peaceful. If you're not feeling these things, check your thoughts. Check your self-talk, your verbal and written communication. And when you start to be consistently impeccable, you're going to see huge changes in your life. So that was Success Principle 51. Now, I obviously went fast, 13 minutes. I'm sure there is more that you could get from this principle. And I would love to share it with you, but you know what? The best way is to go to the Success Principle Amazon thing, links below, and buy the book. You can even get it on Kindle. Kindle, I think there's a membership thing, and you can borrow the book. And then when you finish with it, you can return it. So it's called Kindle Unlimited at time of going to press, okay? The bottom line is impeccability is a trait, it's a habit. And sometimes we've kind of made our clean water muddy by perhaps engaging in conversations with people and acting like people that aren't destined to be the best version of themselves. So our job is to rein that back in, to really be aligned with our words and our future selves and our actions, so that we're continuously showing up as the best versions of ourselves. And we can't do that if we're constantly lying and if we're constantly gossiping about other people. Our job is to not do that. And gossip isn't just like stopping at perhaps people that you know. It could also be movie stars and actors and actresses. Whatever you say about other people, you are saying to yourself. It's almost like your God consciousness. You're basically putting those words out there for it to be boomerang back to you. So how are you going to stop that? How are you going to make sure that your word is impeccable, that you are upholding your end of your bargain, which is to be the best version of yourself on a consistent basis? Once you've done that and you practice that, I promise you, you will see changes in all areas of your life. So this has been Success Principle number 51. You can comment, you can subscribe, you can thumbs up. It would be quite an impeccable thing to do that. But I'm not going to tempt you by calling you to hold a higher account. What I am going to do though is going to just say thank you for watching. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me and hear the wisdom nuggets from the Success Principles. And number 51 served you well. Feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for watching.